The garden's getting really full with a lot of growth, and I haven't done any pruning yet for the season, so today's plan is to prune all the melons and the squashes. Here I have 2 butternut squashes and 2 honey nut squashes, and my plan is to take off the old leaves, train the vines to grow upwards, and provide more airflow throughout the plant. The first thing to do is always remove any old leaves. These unhealthy leaves will attract more pests, so it's always a good idea to get them out of here as soon as you can. Then I want to remove any leaves that's overcrowding, especially in the middle of the plant. You want to make sure the plant has good airflow to prevent any fungal diseases that might develop. I also want to remove any leaves on the bottom of the plant. I do have irrigation running here, so those leaves can get wet, which can then cause some fungal disease. It's always a good idea to keep the bottom of your plant really nice and clean. And if you hear ducks quacking, it's because these ladies are always close by. They don't like to be picked up, but they like to be close to you. Here is my white scalloped squash. I put a stake in here at the beginning of the season. The plan was for me to train this plant to grow vertically because squash plants can sprout out and take up a lot of space, and I really want to save some space. However, I completely forgot about it and never trained it, so let's see if we can train it now. But first, I need to remove a lot of the bottom leaves to make some room. And now I have better visibility at the bottom of the plant. I can see that they have been sprawling out in all different directions. So I'm hoping I can pick these up and tie each branch onto that main stake. Here's the squash plant all tied up. Since these were sprawled out on the ground, the leaves were growing upwards towards the sun, but now the leaves are pointing to the side because I have lifted them off the ground. Leaves tend to grow towards the sun, so I'm hoping in a couple days these leaves will start moving upwards and start facing the sun again. And for sure, any new growth will definitely be pointing towards the sun. This is so much cleaner. It will make it easier for pollinators to get to the flowers and will make harvesting easier as well. I also have a custard squash hiding in this location. This squash hasn't been getting a lot of sun because it's being shaded by this giant sunflower on one side and calendula bush on the other side. But the plan was also for this plant to grow vertically onto a stake. You can see I started this process and then I forgot. So half the plant is vertical, the other half has fallen down. This is the after view of what it looks like now after I have taken out all the bottom leaves and tied up the new growth. Same deal here, the leaves are pointing downwards because it was growing upwards for the sun, now it's being folded over. So I'm hoping in a few days the leaves will grow upwards and the stem will continue to grow vertically. This cleanup has also allowed so much more sunlight to reach the soil. This pepper is very leggy because it's being shaded, so hopefully now it will get full sun. Here's another zucchini plant. This one is a younger plant, so this one will be much easier to clean up. I just need to take out the bottom leaves and then tie it onto that stake. And here is the after. The bottom leaves have been removed and the stem has been tied to the post. Because this is a younger plant, this was much easier to do. So remember to always start this process early. Here's my very vigorous squash plant. There are 2 plants in here and it's growing really fast. The plan for this one is to just clean up the bottom older leaves and allow more airflow throughout the plant. Also training any vines that may have fallen onto the ground. And here's this plant after her haircut. I didn't touch the top of the plant. I'm just gonna let that go on its own. It's producing very healthy leaves and fruit. But I did take out a lot of leaves on the bottom, especially the older leaves, to allow more airflow. Enjoy, ladies. Here I have 4 honeydew melon plants. The plan is the same to take out the bottom older leaves, provide more airflow in the middle of the plant, and retrain any vines to grow upwards. And here's after. I didn't do as much. These are younger plants. I didn't have to do as much. I have 4 Indian melons here. Same deal with these. And this is the after. Just remove some of the leaves and train the vines go upwards. Same thing for my golden melon plants. Here is the after. These are 2 giant bellow gorse plants. This is my first time growing them, but same thing, I just got these cleaned up. And that's all for today.